Does putting David Calhoun in the pilot's seat in this case, if you will, restore credibility for you?
I think it's a terrific move. He has all of the credentials to pull this together. In addition to that, he has the people skills to work with a very competent FAA administrator, Dixon. Dixon is not someone to be messing around with, so to speak. He was an F-15 fighter pilot, Air Force Academy graduate, vice president of flight operations for Delta. This man knows his airplanes, and in particular, knows the Boeing. He's flown both the Airbus and just about every model Boeing that Delta has. So I think it's a great marriage. I think he's going to put Boeing back on his feet, and he has the technical and management experience to put together the solutions to these terrible quality control issues that Boeing is suffering.
Anthony, I completely agree. This is a great American company. We should all want the best for it, and the board had no decision. They made a good choice. My question for you is, Larry Kellner, Dave Calhoun, that combination, are they going to be trusted by the pilots? Because there seems to have been a pretty significant fracturing of the relationship between Boeing and commercial pilots in the U.S. and throughout the world.
Well, I think that fracturing was to be expected given what's happened. After the first Lion Air crash, Boeing convinced the FAA that there were no problems with the MAX, when in fact they had knowledge that there was in fact some potential problems with the design. Not a big fan of taking an aircraft, an existing model, and changing its center of balance, and then overcoming those center of balance issues with computer coding. Not for an airliner. It's good for a fighter jet like the Raptor, the F-22, but not for a Boeing aircraft. So I think they can work together. I think they can help solve these problems. I think the pilots are going to have a lot of confidence.
Anthony, can I ask you, can you back up? So when you talk about shifting the center of gravity, does this plane just shouldn't be in the air and they should just give it up?
I didn't say it shouldn't be in the air. I think they've overcome some of those issues with computer programming. But being a pilot myself, I prefer that commercial aircraft that are what we call non-specialty aircraft. They don't have a specific edge of the envelope requirement to perform at very high levels of the envelope and the edges of the performance envelope of
aircraft. And you think this one does,
like fighter
Anthony?
Planes do. I think this one's, well within the envelope, but the center of gravity issue, I'm not a big fan of computer code overcoming that in airliners. I do think it can be made safe with the MCAS system. I think that they will overcome the coding problems, but coding in aircraft is a very complex affair. Hundreds of millions of lines of code.
I have a different question for you, Anthony. Long term, do you think that this is going to be the plane that will be the future of Boeing, or do you think this is going to be, this model, if you will sort of come and go very quickly, given what you're talking about here?
I think too much of an investment has been made for it to come and go very quickly. They're going to have to secure their margins from all of the investments and all of the losses that they've suffered. I do think that they will overcome these problems. It's a very fuel-efficient design. The Boeing 737 basic design is a very strong foundation, and I think it's going to become one of their most profitable and safest aircraft, frankly.
Wow. Anthony, appreciate your time and your perspective this morning.